Lechuneranena, Ladonai Maria, Letzorishenu, Letzorishenu. Lechuneranena, Ladonai Maria, Letzorishenu, Letzorishenu. Lechuneranena, Ladonai Maria, Letzorishenu, Letzorishenu.
Nekadmak banda, betoda,
Bizmirot Narialo.
Nekadmak banda, betoda,
Bizmirot Narialo. Lechuneranena, Adonai Maria, Letzorishenu, Letzorishenu. Lechuneranena, Adonai Maria, Letzorishenu, Letzorishenu.
Nekadmak banda, betoda,
Bizmirot Narialo.
Nekadmak banda, betoda,
Bizmirot Narialo. Lechuneranena, Adonai Maria, Letzorishenu, Letzorishenu. Lechuneranena, Adonai Maria, Letzorishenu, Letzorishenu. Yeshmer Shabbat El Yishmereni, Yeshmer Shabbat El Yishmereni, Oti Leomead Beino Ubeini, Oti Leomead Beino Ubeini. Yeshmer Shabbat El Yishmereni, Ki Yeshmer Shabbat El Yishmereni. We come here tonight to welcome Shabbat into our midst. We are looking out at a world that sometimes doesn't make sense, that is chaotic and unformed. And on Shabbat, we think about the miracle of creation and the joy of life and living, but also the promise of tomorrow. And for us, especially tonight, I think we need that promise of tomorrow. The promise that tomorrow will bring better days, and that our youth and our future will work hard to build a better tomorrow. It's why graduation Shabbat is so important, because not only do we celebrate the accomplishments of our students and all the many years that they put into our religious school, but they represent the promise of tomorrow, the hope and the commitment that they will foster a better world, and that they will bring Judaism on to the next generation, Lador Vador, from one generation to the next.
לדור ודור ודור ולנצח נצחים. va'ed. Dor vador, לדור ודור, ולנצח נצחים. ענתיש, ולנצח נצחים. לדור ודור ודור, ברוך אתה אדוני.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
My name is Allison Warzala, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to Anshe Emeth Memorial Temple. I'm thrilled that so many of you are here tonight to welcome Shabbat and also to celebrate these wonderful students, our high school seniors, who have spent a lot of time in this building, and now we will bid them farewell as they go on the path to their future. It's very exciting. And now I would like to invite the parents of our high school seniors up to the bima to light our Shabbat candles. And say the blessings can be found on page 3. Come on up. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
You've been nominated for light. Oh, sure. You didn't see that coming.
Okay, somebody else can.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Steady.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, melech haolam, asher kitshanu
במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת. אמן.
6 days a week, we humans use time. We value it as a means to an end. Time well spent for us is time that helps us acquire something. Yet to have more does not mean to be more. Indeed, there is a realm of time where the goal is not to have, but to be. Not to own, but to give. Not to control, but to share. Not to subdue, but to be in accord. Life goes wrong when the control of space and the acquisition of things becomes our sole concern.
The seventh day rights our balance and restores our perspective. It is like a place in time with a palace for all. It is not a date, but an atmosphere.
On the seventh day, we celebrate time rather than space. 6 days a week, we live under the tyranny of things. On Shabbat, we try to become attuned to the holiness in time.
It is a day in which we are called upon to share what is eternal in time, to turn from the results of creation to the mystery of creation, from the world of creation to the creation of the world.
God, help us now to make this new Shabbat.
After crowds of indifferent strangers, we seek to touch those we love. After concentration on work and responsibility, we seek freedom to meditate, to listen to our inward selves.
Let us open our eyes to the hidden beauties and the infinite possibilities in the world you are creating.
Let us break open the gates of the reservoirs of goodness and kindness in ourselves and in others.
Help us as we reach toward one holy, perfect moment at Shabbat.
Lecha dodi likrateka Pene Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrateka Pene Shabbat nekabela
Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad Ishmianu El HaMayuchad Adonai echad U'Shemo echad L'Shem u'Tiferet L'Tila
Lecha dodi likrateka Pene Shabbat nekabela
Likrat Shabbat L'Chuvenecha Ki Mekor HaBeracha Merosh Mikadem Nesucha Sof Ma'aseh B'machshavat Techila
Lecha dodi likrateka Pene Shabbat nekabela
Midas melech melucha kumitzi mitoch efecha rav lach shevet b'meravecha v'hu yachamol v'yechemla
Lecha dodi likrateka Pene Shabbat nekabela
Na'ari me'afar kumi, livshi bigdei tifartecha mi, al yad ben yishai, ben halachmi, korva al nafshi, ge'alah.
Lecha dodi likrateka Pene Shabbat nekabela
Itoriri, kiva oreh, kumi ori, shir daberi, kivod Adonai, amayik milah. Ay, 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 lecha dodi,
Ay 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 likrat kala Ay 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 Pene Shabbat nekabela Ay 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 lecha dodi Ay 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 likrat kala Ay 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 Pene Shabbat nekabela
la tevashi v'la tikami, mal tishtochachi u'mevehami, bara yechasu ani ye'ami, v'nivnita yiraltila.
Ay 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 lecha dodi Ay 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 likrat kala Ay 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 Pene Shabbat nekabela
Ayulim shisa shosayik brachaku kol levalayik yasi salayik Elohayik kimsos hatar akala.
Ay 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 lecha dodi Ay 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 likrat kala ay ay ay, Penei Shabbat lekabelan.
ימינוס בולתי פרוצי ואת אדוני תריצי על ידש בן פרצי ונשמחה ונגילה
Ay ay ay, lecha dodi, ay ay ay, likrat kala, ay ay ay, Penei Shabbat lekabela.
Oi ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי כלה, בואי כלה.
Penei Shabbat lekabela, ay ay ay, lecha dodi, ay ay ay, likrat kala, ay ay ay, Penei Shabbat lekabela.
Shabbat Shalom. We continue with Hatzi Kaddish on page 7.
יתקדש ויתקדש שמי רבה בעלמא דברך חירותי ועמלית מלכותי בחיי כל וביום כל ובחיי כל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירם בעלמא ואמרו Amen.
God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words.
For the awareness of soul, life within, for the world around us filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us.
For all these and more, we now rise and offer you blessings from the heart. We rise in either body or spirit for the Baruch.
Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 Adonai HaMevorach. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhmah poteach sharim, ulitvuna masena itim, umachalit et chazanmayim, umasader et hakohavim, b'mishmerotei chem, Barakia Kirtsono. Bore Yom Balayla Golel Or Mipne Hoshe Vehoshe Mipne Or. Uma Adir Yom Ume Bi Laila. Umavdil Ben Yom Uvein Laila. Adonai Tsevaot Shemo. El Chai Vekayam. Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. O God, you are as near as the very air we breathe, yet farther than the furthest star.
We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and warmth of your presence. Though we say we're near, we are lonely and alone.
O let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and joy of your presence.
Ahavat olam beit Yisrael amcha ahavta Torah umitzvot chukim umishpatim otanu limadeta Ahavat olam beit Yisrael Hakein Adonai Eloheinu, V'shofeinu uvkumeinu, V'shofeinu uvkumeinu, Ziyakukecha, V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, U'v'mitzvotecha, Le'olam va'ed, Ki hein Hayenu, Hayenu, Be'orech Yameinu, Uvahem Neged Yomam V'Halayla, Ve'avatecha Al tasir mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai. Baruch Shemo. Ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shekevod Malchuto, Le'olam va'ed. Baruch Shekevod Malchuto, Le'olam va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people, Israel. Please be seated.
את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בעיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
If we can hear the words from Sinai, then love will flow from us, and we shall serve all that is holy with our intellect and all of our passions and all of our life.
If we can serve all that is holy, we shall be doing all that humans can to help the rains flow, the grasses to be green, the grains to be golden like the sun, and the rivers to be filled with life once more.
All of the children of God shall eat, and there will be enough. But if we turn from Sinai's words and serve only what is common and profound, making gods of our own comfort and power, then the holiness of life will contract from us. Our world will grow inhospitable.
Let us therefore lace these words into our passion and our intellect, and bind them as a sign upon our hands and eyes. Let us write them in the mezuzot upon our doors, and teach them to our children.
Let us honor the generation that came before us, keeping the promise of us, promise for those who get to be. Emet ve'emanu, kol zot v'kayam, Elenu, ki hu Adonai Eloheinu, ve'in zuladu va'anachnu Yisrael amo. I am a Jew. I am a Jew because my faith demands of me no abdiction of the mind. I am a Jew because my faith requires of me all the devotion of my heart. I am a Jew because in every place where suffering weeps, I weep. I am a Jew because at every time when despair cries out, I hope. I am a Jew because the word of the people of Israel is the oldest and the newest. I am a Jew because the promise of Israel is the universal promise. I am a Jew because for Israel the world is not complete, we are completing it. I am a Jew because for Israel humanity is not created, we are creating it. I am a Jew because Israel places humanity and unity above the nations, above Israel itself. I am a Jew because above humanity, image of the divine unity, Israel places the unity of which is divine. The eternal truth is that you alone are God and there is no one else. May all the world
rejoice in your love and exult in your justice.
Let them beat their swords into plowshares
and with the spears into pruning hooks.
Let nations not lift up swords against nation. Let them study war no more. You shall not hate another in your heart. You shall love your neighbor as yourself.
Hashivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom. Hashivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom. Hashivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom. Hashivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom. Shalom.
V'hamiteinu shomreinu, shomreinu lechayim. V'hamiteinu shomreinu lechayim.
Aleinu Sukkot, Sukkot Shlomecha. Ufros Aleinu Sukkot, Sukkot Shlomecha, Shlomecha.
V'taknenu be'etza tova, tova milfanecha, ve'hoshienu leman shemecha.
Hashivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom. Hashivenu Adonai Eloheinu
Eternal God, like all the generations of Israel, we turn to you in hope. We need you as we need air to breathe. May all your children be filled with a love of freedom and truth, that tyranny may vanish and the reign of righteousness be established everywhere on earth. Then will the suffering end of all who live in lands of darkness and persecution. Your spirit pervades the world. We pray for these, all lands and peoples. We pray for in our journeys among the nations, our people have always turned in love to the land where Israel was born, where our prophets taught their imperishable message of justice and peace, and where our poets sang their eternal songs of love for you and your love for us and all of humanity.
Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. אדוני שפתי תפתח, ופי אגיד תהילתך. אדוני שפתי תפתח, ופי אגיד תהילתך. אדוני שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד תהילתך.
אדוני שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד תהילתך. אדוני שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד תהילתך. אדוני שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד תהילתך. אדוני שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד תהילתך.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו, אלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך חוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה, אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מפתח אבות אברהם להושיע, מוריד הטל, מחכה חיים בחסד, חיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. Don't stop after beating the swords into plowshares. Don't stop. Go on beating and making musical instruments out of them. Whoever wants to make war again will have to turn to them into plowshares first. We take a moment for silent prayer now.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל יושבי תבל. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל יושבי תבל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל יושבי תבל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ואמרו אמן.
Our people once stood atop Mount Sinai. We encountered God there in the desert. These lines can be found in our sacred scroll, which was written by our people many centuries ago, as a result of our reflections on that presence and that experience. Thus, the closest approach to what we are aware of as God's will for us is this scroll. This scroll contains our history, rules, lessons, and even our names. The key to our people's survival can be discovered in this Torah's teachings. Beit Yaakov lechuven elcha be'or Adonai. O house of Jacob, come let us walk by the light of Adonai. Please rise.
והערנו בתורתך ודבק ליבנו במצוותיך ויחד לבבינו לאהבה וליראה את שמך ולא נבוש ולא ניכלם ולא ניכשל לעולם ועד כי בשם קודשך הגדול והנורא בטחנו נגילה ונשמחה נגילה ונשמחה ישועתך כי מציון תצא תורה ודבר אדוני בירושלים כי מציון תצא תורה ודבר אדוני בירושלים ברוך שנתן תורה לעמו ישראל ברוך שנתן תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושתו כי מציון תצא תורה ודבר אדוני בירושלים כי מציון תצא תורה ודבר אדוני בירושלים שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד אלוהינו גדול אדוננו קדוש שמו גדלו לאדוני איתי ונרוממה שמו יחדיו על שלושה דברים על שלושה דברים העולם עומד על שלושה דברים העולם עומד על שלושה דברים על שלושה דברים העולם עומד על שלושה דברים העולם עומד על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד. על שלושה דברים.
May be seated. So, in a few moments, we'll be chanting from this week's parasha, Bahar, which begins with commandments about the sabbatical year. And the sabbatical year is every 7 years, it says in the land of Israel, you should let the land lie fallow for a year. Scholars debate constantly whether this actually happened. I'm not interested in that today. But the portion says, 6 years you may sow your field, and 6 years you may prune your vineyard and gather in its yield. But in the 7th year, the land shall have a Sabbath of complete rest, a Sabbath of God. You shall not sow your field or prune your vineyard. It's hard to miss the connection between the sabbatical year, called a Shabbat for the land, and the weekly Shabbat that we're gathered together to celebrate right now, alongside celebrating our graduates. Humans and land, it seems, both need rest, but they run on different scales of time. Humans need rest weekly, the land needs rest every 7 years or so. And regardless, though, there seems to be this shared understanding that everything, both the world we live in and ourselves, need to spend about 1/7 of our time resting. And so, to our graduates who are embarking on the first stage of their adult lives, I want to invite you to learn what scale you run on and how to give yourself a complete Sabbath of rest, like this portion tells us to give the inanimate object of the land. And as far as I understand it, letting land lie fallow has an agricultural benefit of some kind. It allows the soil to not be depleted of nutrients. There's people here who know more about this than me. Talk to me at Oneg. So let us remember that we are all like soil. If we give our everything to everything all the time, we won't have anything left to give. And so, as you embark on the next chapter of your lives, remember that our tradition implores us to stop every now and then, to step back from what we're doing, to take stock of what's around us, and most importantly, to rest. Our Torah reading begins with Leviticus chapter 25, verse 1, which you can find on page 850 of the Torah commentaries you have at your seats. And now, it's my honor to invite up all of our graduates for the Aliyah LaTorah, Sarah Brown, Julia Rosenblum, Ethan Fantel, and Caroline DiStefano.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamburach.
Baruch Adonai Hamburach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamburach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Vayiraber Adonai el Moshe Bahar Sinai lemor. Daber el bnei Yisrael ve'amarta alehem ki tavo el haaretz asher ani noten lachem v'shavita haaretz Shabbat l'Adonai shesh shanim tizra sadecha v'shesh shanim tizmor charmecha ve'asavta et tevuata ובשנה השביעית שבת שבתון יהיה לארץ שבת לאדוני שדך לא תזרע וכרמך לא תזמור.
אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם אתה בטוחנו ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. Please rise.
אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. ידה לי 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 ידה לי לי ידה לי
Yehalelu et Shem Adonai, ki niskav shemo levado. Let us praise the name of Adonai, for God's name alone is exalted.
הודו על ארץ ושמיים וירם קרן לעמו תהילה לכל חסידיו לבני ישראל עם קרובו.
God's Torah is perfect, reviving the soul. God's
Teaching is sure, making wise the simple.
God's precepts are right, delighting the mind.
God's mitzvot are clear, giving light to the eyes.
God's word is pure, enduring forever.
God's judgments are true and altogether just.
Eitz Chaim hi lamachzikim ba betomechea meushar terachea dorchei noam vechol netivoteha Shalom Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashova Chadesh Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. When I think back to my first day of Hebrew school, I am reminded of anxiously walking into Maura Schechter's third grade classroom. What started as learning the Aleph Bet and recognizing different vowels eventually became reading words and forming sentences. A very clear memory I have of my bat mitzvah preparation during 6th grade is sitting under a desk while chanting the Be'ahavta. There, Mora Kayla sat in front of me, promising to block my view of everyone else in the room who I feared would judge me for not being perfect. Looking back, this is pretty ironic, as I now consider Kayla a sister, and if there's one thing I know about sisters, It's that they excel in being judgmental. What felt like ages later, I remember being home, hiding yet again behind furniture, as my mom and Kayla encouraged me to chant the whole prayer because nobody's perfect and we all make mistakes. And while I can still feel myself rolling my eyes at the repetition of these phrases, there is merit to them. Aside from this lesson, Kayla has been someone I constantly look up to and admire for her dedication, thoughtfulness, and genuine expression of love. I'm so glad I advertised you to my mom for babysitting back in 4th grade. I wouldn't trade Kayla's supportive, trustworthy, and hilarious personality for anything. After many more rehearsals and sitting behind furniture, I got onto a step stool, revealing a view from over the podium. There, I pushed myself to project my voice in order for Rabbi Baisley to hear me without a microphone. On the topic of Rabbi Baisley, I want to say a huge thank you for being so amicable and hospitable. This past year, I've really enjoyed our monthly senior Hebrew school classes with topics ranging from standard conversation starters to complex philosophical ideas. You have always been so welcoming, and I think it's safe to say that you 4 + 4. You 8. While I always enjoy joking around with my sister and annoying our parents during high holiday services, I've gained an appreciation for reciting one of the Rosh Hashanah parshas. What began as sitting in Kennerot's office to ensure I felt comfortable with the cantillation marks quickly became thoughtful compliments from Kenner Stanton for my 5th year chanting the portion. Thank you to both Kennerot and Kenner Stanton for being amazing role models and creating opportunities for me to expand my horizons. While many of these experiences felt nerve-wracking and uncertain, I've come to realize that through it all, I'm constantly surrounded by a group of people rooting for my growth and success. I owe this newfound confidence I found starting around my bat mitzvah to the constant support I received through my first 4 years at Anshem. Upon officially becoming a Jewish adult, I was very eager to have more responsibility and to make a difference within the community. Something that I looked forward to every month is cooking with Team B'tei Avon. Learning the ways of many congregants has deepened my love and appreciation for cooking. Whether it was Fred teaching me to braid challah for the first time or filleting a fish for the first time with Jay, each Shabbat dinner has been so eye-opening. Dr. Joe, Dana, Ann, and Adam, just to name a few, have been amazing role models and have shown me how cooking for other people is an amazing way to give back. There was, however, a slight change to my social engagement, especially at the temple, in the memorable year of 2020. What was once laughing and singing with friends during junior choir became virtual school, dance, and board meetings. Now, I most definitely was not complaining about learning biology in bed next to my dog. But after a while, I found it a little frustrating to be left with my thoughts. Suddenly, my discomfort for chanting prayers like the Ve'ahavta in front of classmates became genuine fear. As I, along with the rest of the world, navigated through the uncertainty that COVID-19 presented, I discovered a lot about myself. Someone who helped this happen is Matthew Vogel. A lot of my memories with him involve the most random conversations, resulting in such genuine laughter. Still managing to hold me accountable, Matt provided a space where I could genuinely be myself. Rather than simply acting as an escape, Matt provided me an outlet to improve myself and the amazing temple community. One opportunity we often talked about was 80. Despite being nervous, I took the big jump and started my journey as a board member. As 9th grade representative, my first year on board was an amazing opportunity to observe those around me and draw inspiration for the kind of leader I aspire to be, even though it was on Zoom. The following year, I served as religious and cultural vice president, which further exposed me to a variety of amazing ideas and pushed me to grow while planning the 80 creative service. For my 3rd year on board, I admired the dedication of co-presidents Morgan and Joseph. As programming vice president, I was determined to immerse myself with as much information as possible in hopes of following the footsteps of leaders I had a chance to work with: Sarah Silver, Avery Lipkin, Morgan Kovac, and Joseph Angelo. This year, I was ecstatic to take on the role of president. The time between the board retreat last August and our closing event this past weekend was filled with amazing memories that I'll cherish for a very long time. Growing closer to each board member has been so enjoyable and eye-opening. Each one of you adds such positive energy and fun to the board, and it's safe to say that I'll miss each and every one of you. Of course, it isn't 80 without Rabbi Lotenberg. Having the chance to collaborate with you has only increased my appreciation for your ability to create a welcoming yet productive environment. No matter what, you have always been there to offer advice and support, often including the term slay. Creating a healthy balance between leadership opportunities and a constant source of help has greatly contributed to my growth as a leader and a person. While my experience on 80 has consisted of the past 4 years, I'm often reminded of the tradition this board has become. Seeing people who have constantly been there for the temple motivates me to follow in their footsteps. In particular, Susan Cohn. Over the past few years, we've gotten the chance to grow closer. Who I initially viewed as an intimidating Hebrew school teacher became one of the most honest, hilarious, and genuine people I know. I always look forward to spilling a wide range of tea with you. Your dedication and presence at the temple have been a constant example of the contribution I hope to pursue in the future. This past year, I was gifted the opportunity to work with Lee Moore. Every Sunday morning and Tuesday afternoon, I knew I would be greeted with a welcoming smile and genuine conversation. Lee Moore's trust in me has continually encouraged me to keep doing the best I can. I'm so grateful to have someone in my life as supportive as you, someone who will always be there and is genuinely a down-to-earth role model. In many ways, the temple has given me light that has motivated me to become the person I am proud to be today. From 3rd grade to now, actively engaging in the temple has provided me with a sense of self. The community, people, and opportunities have opened my eyes to the possibilities of the future. I look forward to holding Anshe Emmett close as I continue on to college and plan to continue giving back, hopefully returning some of the same brightness this temple has given me. Thank you once again. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. It feels like just yesterday that I was standing up here with junior choir, dreading the hour service and just wanting to go to the ONEG. Now I'm going to college in a couple months, and I know I have a lot to thank the temple for. I've been very involved with Anshe Emmett since my dad joined this congregation over 13 years ago. One of my favorite parts of this congregation is the music. Jew Directions was one of my favorite things I was a part of during my time at Anshe Emmett. Being in junior choir and being surrounded by so many talented people made me want to join Jew Directions. Though I always felt like I was an honorary member because of my brother, I became a real member in 2020. As you can imagine, not so long after that, COVID happened. I will always remember the last meeting we had before lockdown. I remember telling Avery, Morgan, and Zoe that my school had just been canceled for 2 weeks and being so naive to what was to come. During COVID, I found a love for reading. This love for reading has helped me get through such difficult times in my life and still entertains me to this day. This has made me want to share my love of reading with little kids and help them find a love for it too. Being a Madrakim with Morris Sari has been one of my favorite things about Anshe Emmett for the past 6 years. Even though my 2nd and 3rd year Madrakiming happened during COVID, I still love the kids and loved helping out in the classroom environment. One of my favorite things about working with pre-K and kindergarten is the teacher. Morris Sari has been an important person on my journey to becoming a teacher. She provided me with many opportunities to work with the kids and further my abilities that now led me to wanting to work with preschool and kindergarten in the future. This classroom has helped me grow into the person I am today. I would also consider myself more confident than I was 5 years ago at my bat mitzvah. Another thing that has made me into the leader I am today is being on 80 board. The temple has offered me many opportunities to be in a leadership role. I followed in my brother's footsteps by being a membership vice president for 2 years, and now in my last year, I was a programming vice president. I've gotten to work with so many people, including someone who has become one of my closest friends, Sarah Brown. Now, before I conclude, I want to say thanks. Thank you to my parents for always driving me to temple and supporting me throughout my journey. High school has been so much easier with knowing you both have my back. Thank you to my brother Sean, who paved the way for me at the temple and inspired me to follow in his footsteps and get as involved as I did. He has always been there to answer any of my questions and help me along the way. Thank you to my Uncle Reese and Aunt Judy for always supporting me and keeping my Jewish tradition alive. I always look forward to having the holidays at your house. Thank you, Cantor Ott, for always encouraging me to continue with music, giving me a love for singing, and creating a space in which I created such strong friendships. Thank you, Matt Vogel, for always encouraging me to step outside of my comfort zone. I remember hating the idea of going to Alabama and flying without my parents for the first time, and you never gave up on convincing me, and I ended up going and having a great time. Thank you, Rabbi Lotenberg, for always being a strong role model in AD leadership. You have been an inspiration to me. Thank you, Rabbi Baisley, for always being supportive, especially for helping me throughout my bat mitzvah practices, where you were always super patient with me and helped me project my voice. Even as I graduate within the next month and begin attending Rowan University, I will take all that I have learned here and carry it with me. I will always have fond memories of my time at Anshe Emeth. Shabbat Shalom.
Today is an achievement, and one that I share with a lot of people, not just my fellow classmates. On June 1st, 2019, in my bar mitzvah speech, I made a commitment to continue my Jewish education. Today marks my graduation from the Anshe Emeth Hebrew School, but not the end of my Jewish education. I look to the future and the continuation of my growth as a Jewish adult. Graduation is a great time to reflect and thank all people who have helped me get here. First and foremost, I would like to thank my mom and dad, well, for just about everything, for being honest. I mean, there's so many things I could just thank you for, but I'd rather not bore everyone here, so I'll just keep it nice and short and simple and say thanks for everything. Thank you to my grandpa, aka G-Man, for giving me rides to and from Hebrew school when I was a kid. But I believed you benefited from this as well, as every time we were about to leave, I noticed that you had a Dunkin' in your hand, and that Dunkin' was not there before. Thank you to my Grams, who also drove me to Hebrew school when I was younger. I have to say, I benefited from this the most, as every time she picked me up, I would get a sweet treat, and like my father, we both share a major sweet tooth. I hear my grandma Irene did too. Thank you to Rabbi Baisley, as he put up with my shenanigans the past 10 plus years. But seriously, you've always been there if I had any questions, and always asked questions to provoke deeper understanding and conversation. I've really enjoyed our classes together this year. Thank you to Cantor Stanton, who took over as a cantor in a very interesting spot for me, as I was in 7th grade and about 3 months away from my bar mitzvah. We worked very hard to prepare and go over everything, and you made sure every single note was right and made sure it was at the exact right time. If not, it was do it over every single time. Also, I don't know how you managed to put up with my brother in his prep period, because I could barely do it for 15 minutes a night at most. I also want to thank Rabbi Lotenberg. In our short time together, you have really helped me and my brother feel included at all events in the temple, even if we couldn't be there in person. Another big thanks goes out to Matt Vogel, the previous youth education director. I met Matt when I was pretty young, and my feelings towards coming to Hebrew school weren't the prettiest, to say the least. Matt and I really connected over college football. He was a Florida State fan, and I'm a Michigan fan. So every Saturday morning, we would talk about the prior week's scores and upsets and everything about it. Also, we would preview this week's matchups and who we had as upsets. This happened every week, and then started transitioning into other sports like baseball and the NFL, others. And my attitudes towards Hebrew school changed at a young age a lot, and I started having a lot of fun coming here. I really enjoyed our trash talking as well, but that's an offline conversation. My temple experience has been nothing short of incredible. I've enjoyed learning from teachers as well as my peers. I started attending Hebrew school in kindergarten. It's hard to believe that was 13 years ago. Where did the time go, as we all say? I'm getting old. Sorry to put that in perspective, but getting old. Every year is fun and educational, whether it be learning how to speak Hebrew, write Hebrew, learn prayers, play Jeopardy, etc. From kindergarten through 7th grade, the curriculum built upon itself as we learned the basics of the holidays, the alphabet, and the prayers. After my bar mitzvah, the curriculum was geared towards enhancing our understanding of what it means to be a Jew and enhancing our Judaic knowledge, whether it be digging deeper into the Torah or looking at what Jews face currently. Another Hebrew school offering I was lucky to take advantage of was going on the trips, which I did twice. 2 years ago, I went on the civil rights trip to the South, where we visited Atlanta, Georgia, Montgomery, and Selma, Alabama. This trip was a real eye-opener, as we heard personal accounts from people who lived through these times. The stories were so vivid and so brutal. It was extremely shocking how they remembered in such detail, especially when they were 10 or younger at the time, if I remember correctly. Also, during the trip, we discussed what roles Jews played during the civil rights movement. I enjoyed history, so this trip has always stayed with me. This year, we went to Washington, D.C. to lobby a topic significant to us. We learned how things in our judicial branch worked and the power of using our voice. There were temples from across the country and some from Canada, which I thought was pretty cool, because I personally, and before that, never met a Canadian. We all walked to Capitol Hill and gave a speech to our congressional representatives. This trip also allowed us to create friendships with other Jewish teenagers. I personally am still in touch with about 5 or 6 kids from the trip, ranging from New Jersey, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, California, and even Chicago, or Illinois, Chicago City, sorry. There's always something happening here at Anshe Memorial Temple to help each and every person learn more and connect to Judaism. The temple, along with enhancing my knowledge about Judaism, has also created a safe space for me. I've always felt comfortable here. I've been able to enhance my knowledge of topics by asking critical questions or offering my opinions on topics. I was never looked at any differently by anyone, and this really helped me grow as a Jewish adult. The culture and people here at AEMT has really allowed me to feel safe and not feel like I had to hide anything. I will always feel connected to Anshe Emeth and thankful for my time in Hebrew school. Oh, and one more thing. I want to congratulate my fellow classmates for graduating as well. Guys, we made it.
Hi, I'm Caroline, and my speech is not as long as any of theirs because nobody told me we were doing that, but so it's fine. Maybe I'll make some stuff up on the way. It's not underprepared, it's called being authentic. So I joined this temple when I was in 7th grade, and let me just say, 7-year-old me really did not want to be here. Every Tuesday and Saturday that I had to come, I complained and complained because I didn't want to do more work. However, eventually I found it to be fun. I think that junior choir is probably what sprouted my new feelings towards the synagogue because I used to really, really enjoy singing. So I'd like to thank Cantor Ott for that. And I remember getting the Shehehianu stuck in my head at a swim meet and finding that a chlorine-smelling pool arena didn't exactly match the feeling of the song, but it worked out anyway. And from then on, I really enjoyed my experience at Hebrew school. And it was even through enough that the last year I attended a Hebrew class all by myself. So a huge shout out to Moralea for still teaching me even though I was her only student. And I don't know if any of you guys know, but in Hebrew, everything's like gendered, and since there was no male in our class to use examples, we had an imaginary student named George. So, yeah, and thinking back, what I remember most are the moments spent with my friends. When I was younger, it was playing tag in the hallways and after Friday night services, and when I was older, it was taking trips or baking. That being said, I think what makes this place really special is the community, and I think Rabbi Baisley does an amazing job with creating that. I love how this temple both upholds tradition and is also super accepting of all people. When I think back, I love how everyone here is always ready to talk to someone. I remember talking to Ray last year about his awesome Crocs. They're still so cool. Neither of us are sporting them right now, but I'm sure we'll see them soon. And maybe. By coming here, I learned the meaning behind being Jewish and how to also apply it to my outside life, whether it means helping others or eating matzah. I think that the perfect example of this is, like others mentioned before, the civil rights journey that the high schoolers had the option to take last year. Listening to all the amazing people talk about their experiences during the civil rights era was just an insane experience. Just like sitting there and listening to people like Joanne Bland, who was the youngest person at Bloody Sunday, talk about her experience there and hearing, like people hit the pavement, that's really surreal. And it's not really something that you could get somewhere else. And I even devoted one of my whole college essays to it, so that's how you know it was really influential. Jokes aside, it was an amazing experience. Because while you can learn about historical events in a classroom as much as you want, nothing is the same as visiting historical sites and hearing first-hand experiences yourself. I'm so grateful for that opportunity, and thank you to Matt Vogel for making it both impactful and fun at the same time. And this is the only temple that I would ever know of that would bring me to experience church, not only once, but twice in my Hebrew school years. So I thought that was a really cool and fun experience, and I love how accepting that this place is. So I'm so glad I chose to stick with Hebrew school when I did. I'd like to thank my parents, my mom, my dad, and my little sister Coral, who's sick right now, for supporting me. And I'd like to thank all my teachers for helping me learn, and thank you to Rabbi Baisley for guiding all of us the entire time. I know I haven't really showed up here a lot, so I'm Caroline, if you guys don't know. And I just met this new rabbi for the first time today. But I really like how this place still leaves its doors open no matter what. I know that I'm always accepted here, and I can always come whenever I'm free or whenever I feel like I need to come here. I think that that's a really big part of being Jewish, and I don't think that everything has to have a really hard set of rules. I think that you just need to be accepting of all people, and that's exactly what this place does. So thank you to everyone for that, and congratulations to all of you guys too. Thank you.
I want to invite our 12th grade graduates to come on up to the bima as we all rise. By special request. I'm sure your parents join me in this moment of looking at you now as adults, but also remembering your journey to get to this moment too. And it wasn't all shenanigans even. There were one or two. I do remember a youth group trip where the common phrase I would ask is, "Where's Ethan?" Out and about. Out and about, yeah. Not the right answer, though. We've had a lot of games, a lot of silliness, a lot of play over these last, for some of us 7 years, for some of us 12 years. And one of the things that I've admired about each and every one of you is your capacity to be silly and joyful, but also serious and well thought out. The 12th grade class, where you come and meet at my house for the entire year, I think is one of the most special things that I do as a rabbi. Because I get to meet with you, and we get to have unbelievable conversations. What makes it so remarkable is that I'm looking at you over the course of multiple years, and I get to see how those thoughts and the way you see the world and the way you interact with the world has evolved in some remarkable ways. Yes, you've taught me interesting slang, which has really let me feel my age, I think. In your hands, you hold the scroll that started it all. The birth of our code of ethics and morality are found within the scroll you're holding, but our morality doesn't end there. You are here today because countless generations have taken what they found in that scroll and have made it their own. One of the questions I always have you answer for your bar bat mitzvah is, how will I strengthen the Jewish people? And the answers that you give me when you're 13 are always things like, I'm going to be a madrik or a madraka, I'm going to give tzedakah, things like that. In truth, the things that you do to strengthen Judaism are the things that you've done over these last couple of years since your bar bat mitzvah. They're helping to inspire a next generation of Jewish leaders. It's helping to inspire the adults that are out here to really live powerful Jewish lives. It's by dedicating yourself to continuing your Jewish education. By the way, we have that recorded. It's by committing yourself to tomorrow. So for many of us in this room, this moment feels like not only a celebration of the end of your religious school career, but rather the promise of the rebirth of tomorrow. The promise that you will come into your own as Jewish adults and continue to keep this tradition alive. And you have all done remarkable things with it. I want to bless you now as we celebrate you taking this tradition onto your own. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'panecha. May God's light shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yitzah Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. As you leave this place tonight, never forget that this will always be your home. And as you go forth from here, may you always, always find peace. Mazel tov to you all. Please be seated. We have a few gifts for you to say Mazel Tov, because it cannot be a Jewish event, a simcha, without giving some sort of gift. No scholarship. No, it's not. No, this is a synagogue. It's a book. And it's on Shammeth, so it's a graduation certificate. What's that? Yeah, it is in color. It is in color. But there's no money inside. I'm sorry. Caroline, come on up. Ethan. And again, no scholarship. I think what's inside, that's up to you. Sarah. And Julia. Mazel tov again to our graduates and their families. I cannot wait to see what you guys do next. And inside the books that you got, there's a little note from me for all of you. But in the note I say, don't forget that no matter where you go in life, Anshameth will always be a home for you, and you can always call on us whenever you need it. So don't be strangers, and whenever you get back from college, give me a call. We'll go and get coffee and catch up, okay? Duncan for you. As we continue with our service, we take a moment now to think about what's happening in the world. And we continue with a special prayer for the state of Israel. Sur Yisrael v'go'alo, Barech na et Medinat Yisrael, Rock and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel that it may be the first fruit of our redemption. Protect it with your abundant love. Spread over it the shelter of your peace. Send your light and truth to its leaders, judges, and elected officials. May your presence establish in them wise counsel, that they may walk in the way of justice, freedom, and integrity. May your spirit emanate upon all who dwell in the land we hold sacred. Remove from their midst hatred and enmity, jealousy and wickedness. Plant in their hearts love and kinship, peace and friendship, and soon fulfill the vision of your prophet. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation. Let them no longer learn the ways of war. And let us say, Amen. As we celebrate life and the miracle of creation tonight, we also turn our attention to those whose health is precarious right now, whose futures are uncertain. I invite you to look in your program tonight at the Misha Barak list and to find the name of someone you know that you'd like to say a prayer of healing for, or someone you don't know that you'd like to say the name of for healing. Or perhaps think of the hostages who are still in Israel, who we pray for their speedy release. We say those names together as one. Yishabarach Avotenu v'Imotenu hu yavarech hacholim, rufuata nefesh, rufuata guf. May the one who blessed our ancestors bring healing to those who need it, and may their recovery be swift and certain. Amen.
Of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We continue now on page 21 as we rise in either body or spirit for Elena.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Let holiness move in us. Let us pay attention to its small but great voice. Let us see the sacred light of God in others and honor that light. We will strive to be holy. We will strive to repair the world given to us to hand on. Precious is the treasure of words and knowledge and deeds that moves inside us. Holy is the hand that works for peace and for justice. Holy is the mouth that speaks for goodness.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו ושמו אחד ושמו אחד.
When cherished ties are broken and the chain of love is shattered, only trust in the strength of faith can lighten the heaviness of the heart. At times the pain of separation seems more than we can bear. But if we dwell too long on our loss, we embitter our hearts and harm ourselves and those about us. The psalmist said that in his affliction he learned the law of God. In truth, grief is a great teacher when it sends us back to serve and bless the living. We learn how to counsel and comfort those who, like ourselves, are bowed with sorrow. We learn when to keep silent in their presence and when a word will assure them of our love and concern. Thus, even when they're gone, the departed are with us, moving us to live as, in their higher moments, they wish themselves to live. We remember them now